Hey, and welcome to the Crew Podcast. We are the hottest podcast rocking right now. We are currently looking for 6 amazing hosts to join our family for season 2 that will kick off February the 1st, 2024. If you're looking for an opportunity to allow your voice, your perspective, and your brand to be heard around the world and seen around the world, then join the Crew Podcast.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is a founding sponsor for Da Crew Podcast. Get featured inside the magazine and allow your voice to be heard around the world.
Aspiring Authors Magazine is an international magazine founded in May of 2020 by Queen Angela. Get featured.
Publishing. We are committed to helping our authors reach their goals. Publishing. We are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience and dedicated to helping publishing. We are committed to helping our authors reach their goals and pursue their dreams of becoming published authors. We work closely with each author to ensure a successful publishing experience and dedicated to helping them tell their stories in the most impactful and meaningful ways. So stop procrastinating and let's get started with writing their book.
Okay, y'all. Okay. Welcome. How are you guys? Thank you. Of course, we are having some technical difficulties, y'all. I was live and it kicked me off, but y'all know I don't stop. I keep pushing. So I want you guys, if you would, please share this in your circle of influence. This is the Crew Podcast on behalf of course, I am the queen of collaboration, Angela Thomas Smith. If you would, please share this in your circle of influence. I have Mr. Y'all on with me tonight, and I want him to introduce himself for those that may not know him. If you listen to my morning show, he's been on one of my morning shows. But want to give him an opportunity to introduce himself to those that may not know him. So the floor is yours.
Thank you for having me. Good evening to all to you and to in Texas, which have been on this unit. During which time I've witnessed a lot of change in the system, in the conditions, in the people that have been incarcerated here. There was a time when the penitentiary was just that. It was the penitentiary, and it was all about survival. This unit, there's been a cultural shift, personal development, rehabilitation. And I'm not talking about so much what the system does for us, because there's a bare bones minimum of what they provide, but they provide us. What they do provide us is with the opportunity to better ourselves, and there's been a movement here to take advantage of that. Again, we don't have to worry about surviving. We don't have to worry about doing something else. We can focus on understanding who we are as individuals, understanding what our purpose is in life, and nurturing and cultivating that. It's a process. It's a long-term process. Again, I've been incarcerated nearly 25 years, and 10 of those years was survival mode. And there was a 2008 when I finally converted to the faith, the Christian faith, Catholic, and I started a journey of self-improvement, self-development, self-discovery, and in the process I created a lot of programs here in partnership with volunteers. And the first one was called Journeyman Catholic Mexicans. That was the first collaboration we had with the field of volunteers, and we still facilitate that curriculum up to this day. And the results have been pretty figurative, and there's been a proof that this type of program works, as far as when you contrast it with others. They did a study, and in the study we had the participants, and we had a control group. And the participants, there was maybe a 2 that would have a major disciplinary, and say 15 that actually had minor disciplinary, versus the major disciplinary for the control group was around 25, and the minor cases was nearly 40, in the 40s. So there's a drastic change in that, right? So what we did is we created opportunities to develop more programs. So we developed the colleague benefit community, and we created the faith retreats with the dialogue. So the 6 major religions of the unit, which is Catholic Christianity, Protestant Christianity, Muslims, Native Americans, Eastern religion, which include Buddhists, and Sabbatarians. We work together to transform the negative culture of this unit. And we utilize tools of the retreat. It's a 3-day retreat, and a weekly dialogue class, and another class called Compassion and Integrity Training. So we've also noticed a shift in behaviors with the guy participating in that. So here comes peer education, a faith-based peer education program, and I'm a peer educator. created a curriculum called campus culture. And the idea for campus culture is to transform the culture of this unit into a learning culture. Looking at this unit and our stay here as an opportunity to treat this like a university or a seminary or any type of self-development, self-progressive mindset that anybody could think of. But it's not the negative culture that normally comes with a prison environment. So we've been doing that for the campus culture. We've been doing this for almost a year and a half. And at this moment, we're at every custody level. So we have a whole section in administrative segregation where these guys are housed 24 hours a day in a single bed cell. And these are mental health divergent program participants that they're working their way back into the general population. And we've been there for the last 3 weeks, and they've already noticed a drastic change in the behavior. There's 6 different sections. Each one houses 14. And we're in one specific section. In that specific section, everything has gone down as far as disciplinary, use of force, and major disruptions. So they've been tracking this for the last 3 weeks. Now this is administrative segregation. Then we're also in closed custody, and these guys are in their cells, but they have cellies, and they're there for 24 hours a day, as long as they're in that type of custody. And we've been there for a year and a half. That was our first place where we launched the program. So in that, we also showed that the disciplinary, the use of force, the disruptions also dropped there. And that's why we've been able to expand throughout the whole unit. This week we received approval to start a section in medium custody. And this is where they're in the cells with the cellie, but they have limited day-room activity and recreation. So we just started there, and we're going to be able to take them into So I have a 48-man section. 35 actually signed up for the program, and we're going to launch that in about 2 weeks. After which is minimum custody, we've had day room classes throughout the whole of the minimum custody. Every section has 48 cells, and these are smaller groups, maybe between 4 to 6. And what we did is we selected certain people of these groups once they graduated, and we requested that they would consider being mentors. And those who chose to be mentors, we now take them to the classroom setting in the education department, and we train them on the curriculum as presented in the curriculum, and working with small groups as far as how to present it, how to have these small group discussions, how to have classroom presentations. It's really like a boot camp for a mentor.
And these are programs that you have developed to try to help you all rehabilitate yourselves?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I created campus culture about 2 years ago, and it was implemented. I was after I created it, I was fortunate enough to be hired onto the peer education team, and because of the walking around whole unit, it was beneficial. It's really working, and I'm not saying that because I created it.
Right.
Right now, on a weekly basis, and some are in their cells. So we have different ways of presenting and facilitating it. We have door to door, which is where at the we take them to a multi-purpose room and we facilitate a classroom setting, or we can do it in a day room with a small group, maybe 4 to 6 departments. So we can mold the curriculum into the environment, right? I could just be one-on-one. I mean, I could just sit here and there with anybody and just have one-on-one facilitation. And that's the opportunity that exists in vocation here on the unit as of today. So for a lot of the guys, well, they have, especially when you talk about the mental health diversion program and administrative segregation. Or even with some of the church, depending where they're at. Maybe sometimes they could have a class here and there. But for the majority of the people, is major empathy. And we're able to go in there and really work as hard as we can to create an environment that's more beneficial for them, right? One of the things that to start looking up, and a lot of these guys, I mean, they're in adversarial custody or medium custody in a maximum security prison in the middle of nowhere. I mean, it doesn't get any, in the social ladder, it doesn't get any lower than that. So we could consider that rock bottom. And they're hungry for change. And we try our best to be able to serve them. I personally work 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. I leave the block at 7 o'clock in the morning, and I don't come back till 7 o'clock in the evening. And it's constant, right? And these guys are, I mean, they're hungry, they're young, and they don't know anything. They didn't come with it. A lot of them don't even have like 5th grade, 6th grade education.
Right.
But they want something better for themselves, right?
And not only that, they want a second chance. You got to understand, a lot of these kids are getting locked up when they're 15, 16, 17. And statistics have proven that these babies don't know what they're doing. They may be walking around doing grown-up crimes, but they cannot conceptualize and truly understand and rationalize what they have done. And y'all providing these programs, a lot of these kids fall into the environments that they fall into because they don't have an identity. They don't know who they are, and they're trying to find something to relate to, something to identify to, somebody that will accept them, somebody that will love them. So that's how a lot of them end up where they are. But when you don't have rehabilitation, because you were talking about the state of Texas that does not believe in rehabilitation. They don't believe that people can be rehabilitated, that you deserve a second chance, or that you should have a second chance. So for you guys doing this and creating this environment for yourselves, y'all are creating something that they will not create for you. Have y'all had any pushback from them, or have they been very accepting of this?
As far as the administration is here at this time, they've been very supportive of what we're doing because they see the numbers, and that's one thing that I keep on stressing to the guys is, they're not doing this, they're not allowing us to do this because they like us. They're not allowing us to do this because we just have where it's disciplinary is down, use of force is down, major disruptions are down, right? Even suicide attempts are down. Okay, those are major issues here. If we can show this works, well then they want more of it, right? So we had talked to the Lord about 2 days ago about the agent custody offenders and our desire to start a section over there. And there was the approval was immediate. Yes, you can do it. And there was also more of, well, maybe we could do something, a section. There's 6 medium custody sections. So if we could do one section a day, right? One on Monday, one on Tuesday, etc. From Monday to Saturday. And we could start, that gradual shift in that culture. One guy, a coworker went to one section, and he was just asking if the guys would be interested in something like this. And again, 35 and 48 signed up for it. Okay? So that's how hungry these guys are. Okay? And the rest of the guys in the other sections are saying, hey, why can't we have a program over here? Okay? So we have to let them know, hey, well, this is a pilot program, and so give us a couple of months, let us show it works, and then we'll branch off to all these different sections. Also, another warden, which is in charge of the administrative segregation, he asked us, we have one section in the mental health diversion program over there. And we're working with the University of Texas Medical Branch, the psychology department, and they want us to look at starting another section. So there's backing. Okay, there's backing as far as the support that we need to get things done. There hasn't been anything really that they've rejected as far as when we need something, resources. The majority of we don't get anything from the state. Tdcj doesn't provide us with anything. We have a core of volunteers that are out there in the world that help support us with folders and paper and pencils and the workbooks. So when we need something, like, well, they'll let us, they'll give us permission to receive. And there we distribute it as the students need. And that's what the difference is. I can only speak on this year. Okay, there's a move throughout the whole system when you talk about life coaching and field ministry and we have substance abuse counseling and peer-to-peer symptomatic counseling and being implemented on different areas within the system. We have life coaches, field ministers, and peer educators here on this unit. And I'm only speaking on the peer education side because we tend to do a lot as far as in the buildings, in the population. But there is a lot of support with the administration. I don't think they you see, here's the deal, actually. There is a lot of pressure right now. The system is feeling a lot of pressure. And the majority of that pressure is coming from the staff shortages, right?
Mm-hmm.
They can't manage. It's not that they don't want to provide education here. They can't keep the teachers for some reason. We're in the middle of nowhere. Nobody wants to drive this way. So we haven't had education for over a year. We have had no education whatsoever on this unit. I believe Google is going to be coming in to do a high school diploma. I think that's going to start in January. So it's not that they won't do it. They don't have the money to do it. They just don't have the staff. Right? The same is true with system security. And this is a system wide. So there's a lot of pressure to do something. Right? And a lot of times they depend on us to fill the gaps. Okay? So we've done is we try to fill that gap as far as education rehabilitation, especially for the guys who don't receive anything on the B side. So what we're trying to do right now is, especially when you talk about the Free Texas campaign, what we're trying to do is create an environment that we can actually have boots on the ground and support the efforts that you guys are taking outside. So if you have an organization focusing on all parties, the laws for the laws of parties, change the laws for a second look, change the laws for a good time, part time, build a support for that, for this House Joint Resolution, the 53, regarding the 10-year mark where you can solicit the court for time reduction. All these different efforts trying to help relieve the pressure. Okay. What we're doing is we're doing our part, right? We're doing our part in trying to develop the men that society demands us to be, and what the men that our family needs us to be, right? So that we can go back out to the world and be successful. I've said for many years that, for many years, prison was like a social cancer where you come in, you learn how to be a better criminal, you go out and you create, you live out this new knowledge in the streets. Well, now we have the ability to change that, right? From being a social cancer to a cure, right? Well, we can go out and teach these youngsters out there in the world, how to we've been there, we've done that. Let us show you something different. Okay. So that's the movement that's happening right here. And we had a class today, and this is what I affectionately call the knucklehead class. These are guys that are just they're just knuckleheads. They like to fight. They like to they're into a lot of different things. And when I say I go to these sections and they have a class in the day rooms, well, there's other guys that are not part of it, not part of the class, and I still have relationships with them, so I go and ask them, hey, would you like to be part of this? We're here. So we convince them to go, and we've been working with them for the last 2 months, and those guys in there have transformed their body, their desire to live a better life, to understand who they are as an individual, where they want to go in life, and plot a way of getting there from here. And it was a very special day today, because when I sat there, I said, look, you know what, we could, I facilitated the class, I told them, we could go here and go through the information. But there's going to be a time when our heart needs to speak, when we need to express how this information is being absorbed and how it's being expressed in our lives. So I said, I'm going to sit back and I'm just going to ask you guys to share something that you feel that's hopeful. And we lasted 4 hours. 4 hours sharing. Everyone stood up. No matter if they don't usually stand up and speak in front of people. And they shared very meaningful ambitions, good, positive desires, and a commitment to reach them. And this is what I tell the guys. I said, look, you can desire good things all you want, but until you have a commitment to living that out and accomplishing it, it doesn't mean anything. It's just, you just go as hot air. I'm a scrawny little guy, but I desire big muscles, But until I commit to working out, that's what happened. I can desire it all I want, but I have to commit to the regimen. I have to commit to waking up early. I have to commit to a proper diet. I have to commit to all these different things to get these muscles. Well, the same thing is when you want to live a productive life. You want to succeed. Okay, well, how do you succeed? What is that goal? Right? What do you need to do to get there? are things that these guys are just learning. Okay. Several of those guys have done 20 plus years. A handful of guys, I feel like 5 to 6, have life sentences. One guy has 2 stacked life sentences. And he's hopeful. That means something, especially from where he comes from. Where he comes from as far as his background, as far as his affiliations. Again, a lot of those guys are affiliated, but they're learning who their identity is so that they can detach away from those affiliations. Until they understand who they are, what their identity is, they're going to allow somebody else to give them an identity, or they will create an identity, but it's not going to be theirs. So what we do is we help them understand what their identity is. We help them discover it. I use the analogy of athletics. I'll tell you very briefly. So say we help them understand that they're good at athletics, they desire athletics, and it's something that they want to look into. So that's the discovery part. And then we have to direct it to football, baseball, basketball, soccer, etc. There's all these different types of athletics. So
you have 1 minute left.
We have them understand football. Then we help them explore the positions in football. So they want to be a quarterback. Then we help them understand the foundation ideas needed to be successful. And then we help them build a company. So it's a process. And it's a good process, and he's got to really get into it. Really succeed.
Well, I want to applaud you guys for the work that you all are doing and in the turnaround, the change that's coming, and I'm expecting to hear more about it. Keep me updated on the progress, and definitely will bring you back on and allow you to continue to share the progress. Hopefully this will help TDCJ to see that rehabilitation is possible, and some of these Congress people and these representatives and these people that have the power to change these laws can change some of these laws. I applaud them for what they are doing. That was one of the guys that's in Connolly in Texas. We're going to have another young guy that's going to call in. He's going to share a little bit about his story. Yeah, I take these opportunities because these are some people that I'm working with. And while I'm waiting for this next call to come in, if you're out there and you have words of inspiration, whether they're affirmations, letters that you can write, poems, whatever, y'all, we are looking for women that would like to pour into some of these women that are incarcerated within the TDCJ. And if you have time, I want y'all to go over to the magazine page and flip through it and read that article that is in there about that women prison. I've had individuals reach out to me and talk about the stench, the dirtiness, and just so much, and how nasty the guards are to them, and how they do not allow them to clean, and how they keep things from them. And people will say this does not happen, but it does. Like I'm in a class and I'm writing a paper, and we had to submit our rough drafts through a discussion board. So my classmates are giving me their opinions and their thoughts, and a lot of them don't believe that this is actually happening. And I'm telling them, look, go to YouTube, to my YouTube page, and hear these interviews. It's not nothing that I'm making up. And then not only that, you can go to other newspapers and news articles and YouTube, Google corruption in Texas, and you'll be surprised at what you see. And then from people that are not even incarcerated. I just had a young man that just beat a case They were trying to put him in prison. But a video, a police body cam, a 13-second police body cam helped this man with his freedom when they wanted to offer him 25 to life for something that they tried to plot against him to do. Nothing that nobody told me. I heard it. This came straight from the guy that it happened to, y'all. And it's sad. It's sad that this is what's happening to us. And I've come to realize in Texas, the majority of the people that are in prison are Mexicans and African Americans. You don't hardly see any Caucasians in prison. And the reason why they stereotype them Mexicans overrunning the prisons in Texas. Why? Because half of them cannot speak English. Half of them don't understand American laws. And it's so much. And they try the police officers and the government officials in Texas are they are extorting money from these people. They're taking all of their property. They're taking their money out the bank. They are doing stuff to them that just is not acceptable. In some of these cases, you listen to these cases, if they were in another state, these people wouldn't even be locked up. You know, I listened to a young guy's case the other day. And he's a young guy, been locked up since he was 17, 44 years old. Welcome, y'all. My next guest is on. How are you?
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
Okay, I'm doing okay, man.
So if you would you introduce yourself, please?
Yes, ma'am. My name is Mr. Cornell Drummer, ma'am. And I'm here at the John B. Connolly unit, ma'am. And I'm serving a sentence of 154 years from Bear County, Texas.
You said 154 years. How do one get 154 years?
Well, ma'am, here in the Texas criminal justice system, ma'am, we have what we call a stacked sentence process down here. And because of that, ma'am, if you get charged with 2 offenses, the state of Texas can stack them on top of each other. And with that being said, they'll add up the number of years you have. And because of that, ma'am, that's how much your time is. So I got a 55 and a 99 running consecutive, and they stacked.
So how much of that would you actually have to serve?
Wow, that's a good question, ma'am. Okay, depending on what type of legislation you're under, okay, I started in 1992. So I was under the 1/4 law. And because of that, I had to do, on a non-aggravated sentence, I had to do 15 years. But for an aggravated sentence, I had to do 30 years, right? So I got 33 flat years served already, ma'am, on my sentence.
Wow. That's a lot of time. And if you would share a little bit about your case.
Okay, ma'am. Well, my situation is the fact that I was charged with a murder case that I did not commit. And it's under the Texas law party situation. And what is happening is that prior to my trial, little did I know, the criminal investigators had falsified documents to make me a party to the murder. You know, because of that, when I went to trial, a jury convicted me for the murder. But after my trial, they falsified documents to send to me to challenge the conviction because all of the evidence in the case was falsified and fabricated. So with that being said, ma'am, I have been using falsified government documents to challenge my conviction. And since then, everything in my case has been denied. And with that being said, I have been completely shut out of the Texas criminal justice system from challenging my conviction. So as of right now, ma'am, I was forced to try to get all of the documents to prove that I'm innocent. And like I said, it's been hard because of the way our structure is down here in Texas. We don't have no support. We don't have no help down here. So, you know, our criminal justice system has shut us out.
And how is it possible for a criminal justice system to shut you out? How is that possible for that person that don't know anything about the justice system? How is it possible to get shut out?
Okay, we have what we call a nepotism, ma'am. Okay, in my particular, well, in any particular county here in the state of Texas or anywhere, ma'am, if my judge become the district attorney and my district attorney become the judge and the judge in my case become the court of appeals judge and my judge, that judge goes to the court of criminal appeals, anybody who's convicted is under their jurisdiction, ma'am, they are classified as a political prisoner. Why? Because everything that's filed in your case has got red tape on it. And these are the only individuals who will see your case. Therefore, you will not get any relief on your case.
So how is that possible? How is that possible? Wouldn't that in normal or what we call normal, wouldn't that be a conflict of interest?
Well, ma'am, you know what? That's a good question you asked that. Yes, ma'am, it is a conflict of interest because in my particular situation, little did I know, and this is happening all over the state of Texas and elsewhere, my attorney was assigned to me by the judge who became the district attorney. My attorney is a former assistant district attorney from the same courtroom. So with that being said, ma'am, like I say, anything that I file, they are the only ones who get to see it. So what they'll do is put red tape on that file to keep you in the prison system to make sure that you will never, ever overturn that case.
But how is that possible? How can these people continue to do that? If it's a conflict of interest, if I was to if I worked for Wendy's and I wanted to get the Big Mac sauce and put on the Wendy's burger, that would be a conflict of interest. I couldn't go over to Wendy's. I couldn't go over to McDonald's and get their sauce and come back to Wendy's and put it on their sandwich. That would be a conflict of interest. That's because these are two people that are competing against each other, and I couldn't work for one and work for the other and trying to co-mingle their stuff. That's a conflict of interest. So who governs? So what happens when something like this happens? Shouldn't these people excuse themselves or pass these resolutions off to somebody else to make a decision on, or these cases off to someone else to make a decision on?
Okay, yes, ma'am. Okay, that's true. But here in Texas, we have what we call the State Bar of Texas and the Conduct Commissioner's Office that investigate judges. So if we file a complaint against our attorneys, it goes to the same people who they hang out with. The nepotism, they friends and they colleagues and stuff like that. So any complaint that we file is going to be denied anyway. That's what they call exhausting our remedy. We have to file it with them to exhaust the remedy. True enough, it's a conflict of interest. But when come back denied, ma'am, that just keeps us from, getting our cases overturned. We have to go to the next step, and the next step, and the next step. And all of these steps add up to years and years and years in prison, ma'am.
So it's just years and years that these people can just set y'all off and just sit there and twiddle their thumbs and still make this money off of y'all and all of this stuff. Like, cause from my understanding, I'm coming to realize a lot of stuff about the state of Texas. I find it real strange that prisoners can get CDLs, they can get certified as master mechanics, they can get certified in these various jobs as if they was real people, like real free body people out in the free world. And these people can actually leave the prison and go do these jobs. Like they actually have prisoners out doing deliveries and out doing stuff, but they don't even get paid for it. So to me, I feel like these people are truly taking advantage of the system, and they are doing all of this so that they can get free labor, so that they can run these multi-million-dollar corporations, and they can do all this underhanded stuff. And to me, I just feel like it's just another form of slavery. Like it just keep pushing the I just don't get it. But go ahead.
Okay, well look at this, ma'am. Okay, here in the state of Texas, we run the license plate factory. The license plate factory and the machine is the only machine here in the state of Texas that is sitting in the prison system. And we are the ones who make the license plates. We are the ones who make the tags every day. Millions and millions of dollars of tags and license plates every day free of charge. We are the ones who's making the soap that they sell in the free world. We are the ones who's making T-shirts now. We are the ones making mostly all of the products now that's being sold. And it's for free. Okay? Here in the state of Texas, we're supposed to be getting good time now. But here's what happened. They took away our good time and then gave the parole board the power to consider whether or not they should grant or deny us parole as a means of our good time to make sure that we either rehabilitated or not. Well, if we are rehabilitated, the parole board members are also former district attorneys and judges and lawyers. They set us off time and time and time and time again. It's up to 15 set-offs that some guys have gotten, ma'am. And we have completed every program. We've done everything in our power to try to make parole. But we can't make parole here in the state of Texas because we are governed by an individual, not system. So that's our problem here in the state of Texas, man. And nobody is doing nothing about it. Our governor won't grant us anything. He's studying denying everything that has to do with the prison systems, the parole.
Well, he's corrupt. I mean, he's corrupt. You talk about the governor, Greg Abbott. I mean, I Google these people, and if those that are tuned in, those that follow, if you go over to the magazine and flip through the magazine, you'll see an article in there. You'll see pictures of him, Patrick, and Paxton. If you Google them, it comes up corruption. How can you Google people and it comes up corruption and they still are running a state? They're still in charge of stuff, and you know that there is known corruption. You know that these people are getting some type of payback or some type of incentive to be connected to this. Who is these people that are benefiting from all of this money that's being produced from prisoners? Who is making the money? Because from my understanding, when y'all go to these different jobs, y'all have to sign time cards, y'all have to sign time sheets, y'all got to log your work hours, you have to do all this stuff so that they can track all this. So somebody is getting, and again, if you always follow the money trail, you can find out where all the corruption is. When you follow the money trail, you'll find out who families really running these businesses. Because I can guarantee you, the governor, some of these officials, these people that are in high places have some type of kickbacks coming from all of these businesses that are being ran through the Tdcj. And that's why I keep saying the Department of Justice need to come in and they need to start with the governor and do a clean sweep and go through all the records and go through everything, cross every T and dot every I until they get to the bottom of these last 3 to 4 decades. Not years, but we're talking about decades of corruption that have taken place in the state of Texas. Y'all, it's ridiculous. You got a picture. It say the GOP app, APP, Abbott, Paxton, and Patrick. That show your lieutenant governor, your governor, and your attorney general. These are people that control Texas, and all of them are corrupt. And they have turned the parole board into a board that is governed by how they feel. If they feel like you're not going, however they feel is what happens. If they may be having a bad day and you come before them and you look at them wrong, they may say, no, they deny you. They offset you. You got to be offset for 7 years. You got to be offset for this. How can so much power lay in these people's hands? And we talk about them blocking out the number. Why they get, who authorized them to block out the number? Because the number that they place on your parole thing, it tells you where you are, what level you are. So it's supposed to tell where, if you need to go to this class, if you need to do this, it's supposed to help with the progress of you coming out and coming home. But they block it out, so you don't even know what your progress is. You're not able to check on, this is supposed to be public record. Anybody's supposed to be able to go and see what your progress is, what are you doing, how you rehabilitating. Now, that's how you hold people accountable. That's how you make these people be transparent when you see what's going on. Not only that, not only do it help the parole board, but it helped those that are in the administration at these facilities, and then it helped the family members to see how their family member is progressing and coming home, and what they can do to encourage their family member to do what they need to do so that they can come home. But Texas don't believe in rehabilitation, so they hide all of this so that people don't know what's going on. And when stuff is being hid, it just open up room for corruption. It just open up room for people to do what they want to do and not be subject to any type of punishment. These people can do what they want to do. If you look at it, and I was telling somebody today, if you look at it and you look at the pattern, you look at the pattern that's being possessed. You hear people say that they never get into any trouble. They don't have no disciplinary action. They've completed all the courses that they've offered. They have degree after degree after degree. They got their diploma. They got their GED. They got whatever they needed to get. There's nothing else left for a lot of these people to get. You're talking about some of these people have done 25, 30 plus years. So it's nothing else for them to get. But they constantly setting them off. They constantly saying this and saying that because they don't get in no trouble. They say they're manipulating the system. How are you manipulating the system when you're not getting in trouble because you want to one day come home? You get in disciplinary trouble, you get in disciplinary action come up, and you get put in segregation, you get put in this, and then they add more time on. So if you know they're going to do that, why would you get in trouble? The objective is to come home. The objective is to change. The objective is to not be the same person that you was when you went in there. It is to come out to be a productive citizen, change, to come out different. But they want you to come out than you were in, because that is the thing that I'm hearing. They're teaching you how to be a better criminal when people are trying to rehabilitate themselves. And then a lot of these people didn't have the opportunity to attend a lot of the programs because they cut all the stuff out because they can't keep nobody hired. Now, it's a lot. And we need people that will speak up and will stand up for these people that are on the inside, because there are a lot of people that are behind prison walls in places that they don't have family member there. Like, I'm not in Texas, but I go to bat for those people in Texas because it was brought to my attention. Yeah, I just had today to write a letter to the executive director because one of the inmates complained about the warden and all these people laughing at him because he wanted bleach to clean with and wanted to clean his area and to keep his area clean. Like, what is wrong with that? And he said for weeks they had been brushing him off and telling him no and laughing at him and doing all kind of horrible things to him. So me, y'all know I get that pen out and I get the writing and I come up with a letter and I sent that letter off, and he sent me a letter back thanking me for sending that letter off, and he got some bleach and he got some water. to a bucket to put some water in so he can clean. And y'all, sometimes that's all they need. That's all they need. Again, Cornell, you know how passionate I am about this. So sometimes I just take over, but I'm gonna turn it back over to you. And if there's anything, I know we're getting ready to close. Is there anything that you would like to say to the listeners, those that are tuned in or those that will hear the replay, um, about what you have going on and how y'all are trying to get some of these things changed so that y'all that have been incarcerated over 20, 30 years can come home?
Well, yes, ma'am. I would like to point out, ma'am, to the fact that, I am a part of a Free Texas campaign program, ma'am. And this Free Texas campaign program, ma'am, has been addressing the corruption in the criminal justice system, the Tdcj, the parole board, ma'am, and it's getting some traction. Just recently, ma'am, I got a thumbs up from Mr. Carl O. Sherman, which is a state representative, regarding the fact that he has too been listening and reviewing issues about the Free Texas campaign, ma'am. So with that being said, if the public is listening to this, we need any support that y'all can give us in order to get these people to listen to what you people are saying out there in the world and to get some type of signature sign or petition sign to make these people do their job. We need to reform our criminal justice system. We need to reassemble our whole parole board system. We need to take these lawyers and judges and DAs and off our parole board system because we can't get a fair chance like that. No way, and no way. So with this being said, if anybody's listening, we hope and pray that y'all can sign petitions or whatever y'all can to be a part of the Free Texas campaign and to help us get some type of support, some type of voice. That's what we need, ma'am. Really. Because right now the prison system is so short of staff, man, we don't get no recreation. We barely get food. They giving us food loaf. A food loaf is just a bunch of mixed food mixed up in a grinder and it's put into a cornbread fashion with a piece of cheese, man. Besides that, we can't even walk the child to go eat. So this is really bad. Okay, so ma'am, if there's anything that y'all can do to help us, ma'am, out there in the world, please help us because we need it. That's what we're trying to say, man. Please help us. We need that.
Well, I definitely I thank you, and I'm definitely doing what I can out here as one of the co-founders for the Free Texas campaign. Yala was on earlier, and he was talking about a lot of the things that you guys are doing behind the wall as far as self-development and identity and trying to rehabilitate yourselves so that you guys can come out and be productive citizens and be the men that God has called you to. That was one of the things that he talked about. So I'm definitely I'm excited about what God is doing and how he's moving through the Free Texas campaign, and I'm just excited to be a part of it. But all I can say is just keep your head up, keep doing what you guys are doing behind the walls, and I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing out here on the outside. And as we can continue to develop and pull this Free Texas campaign together, as people join forces with us around the globe, because it's getting bigger than just here in South Carolina and in Texas. Like I say, we have people that are reaching out from different areas, wanting to join forces and want to be a part, because what is happening in Texas is happening in other places. And it's sad. It is sad, and it is time for change. And in order for change to come, we got to be the change that we desire to see. So with that being said, again, thank you for being a voice, and thank you for stopping by the Crew podcast and allowing me to share your story. I pray that you have a wonderful rest of your evening, despite your situation. Just stay strong and keep pressing. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in and being a part of this broadcast. If there's anything that has been shared on tonight that has been an inspiration, encouraging, or if you would just like to be a voice or like to be a part of what we're doing, please reach out. Please follow the Free Texas campaign. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube, U42, and a lot of the podcast platforms as well. So get connected. We have a petition floating around. I think it is included in this description of the podcast. So if y'all can take time to sign the petition and share it in your circle. Again, I want to thank you guys for tuning in on tonight. I pray that your evening is blessed beyond what you can see in the natural. Again, I thank you for all your support. Y'all have a great night, and we will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow night, Basic Black After Dark.